take it home.
Isn't it kind of boring? See
All
you,
right.
beautiful child.
All right,
Just
guys.
remember, no dates or boys till you're 30 years old.
Time to wrap it up, Jacob.
I got 4
Time to wrap it
granddaughters. Beautiful granddaughters like you guys. And guess what? The granddaughter guys look at the family and I said, anything this time around you don't want to do. And my oldest, keep going. You're standing right next to me. There you go. And then we're going to have
There you go.
Daddy put his left hand.
He's having fun. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Which should come here.
Here we go.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Take a hold the Bible. Hang it out.
Can I go in just a
Someone go behind there.
That's nice.
Joe, it's so nice to meet you. How are you? But what my dad used to say, granddaughters have one job. Take care. Fathers are hard to raise. All right, it's hard, right? Do you remember what I told you? No, not smile. No date till you're 30. You should be proud of me. No, you can stand up. That's all right. You got it? Okay. Well,
I still hold the Bible.
right over here. There we go.
Что это такое? В сравнении с этой штукой, мескалин покажется пивом. Адренохром.
Адренохром – это химическое соединение, которое вырабатывается в организме человека при окислении адреналина. Адренохром использовался с древних времен как своего рода наркотик. Во время ритуала сатанисты пытают свою жертву и внушают ей ужас, увеличивая тем самым количество адренохрома, который вырабатывается в ее крови. В пиковый момент ужаса сатанисты убивают жертву, а затем пьют ее кровь, получая от этого сильнейший приход. Это вызывает расстройство мышления, дереализацию и эйфорию. Адренохром также может быть мостом связи с сущностями из другого измерения. Для наилучшего результата этой темной спиритуальной работы в качестве жертвы выбирается наиболее чистый источник энергии – человеческий ребенок. Практически все ритуальные жертвоприношения с целью получения адренохрома происходят с детьми.
Откуда ты это взял? Не имеет значения, вещь абсолютно чистая. С какими монстрами ты связался на этот раз? С сатанистами. Думаю, это вещество можно найти только в одном месте. В надпочечниках живых людей. Я знаю.
When they torture the children, it causes a physical reaction of the endomorphins in your body to just increase because of the terror and the pain. So when the Satanists drink the blood, they actually get like a chemical, a high, like a drug high from the blood of a tortured victim. And this little boy was found in the basement dead, with no blood, skinned alive and crucified. This cannot happen to any more children. I can't do it alone. My children are there. It's really hard. I need each one of you to know this is not a fairy tale. This is not something out of science fiction. I was a mom who ran a charity and baked oatmeal cookies for my kids. And because my children are victims, I have to stand here and I have to tell you these horrible stories.
Now, let me just point out that pedophilia does not stop with sodomizing children. It goes straight into terrorizing them to adrenalize their blood and then murdering them.
This conspiracy involves pornography, drugs, corruption, involves pedophilia, involves organized child kidnapping rings, the finders out of Washington, D.C., CIA cover, covert operation, involved in the international trafficking of children, terrorism, bank accounts, and the word.
The blood sacrifices, the whole Luciferian thing, the kids being killed and eaten. I mean, that humans have been eaten and taken off planet, et cetera, and used for slaves in other colonies, etc.
I hate to say that, but that's far worse than what you've just said.
It's far worse.
Yes, far worse.
Far worse, yeah.
And that the whole blood situation is it's unbelievable, and
right.
I don't know how we say that to the public. I don't know how.
Можете ли вы рассказать мне худшее, что произошло, что стало причиной переломного момента в вашей ситуации? Но это было началом конца. Вы так глубоко входите в эти круги, и вы подписываете пожизненный контракт, не кровью или еще чем-то. Никогда не разглашать названия компаний, и организаций или имена людей. Я думаю, именно поэтому я все еще жив. Вы должны придерживаться этого. Если мы говорим о худших вещах, которые я испытал, я просто рассказал вам о том, что вызвало сбой в морозильной камере. Моя совесть начала проявлять себя. Скажем так, я тренировался, чтобы стать психопатом. Я потерпел неудачу. Я не закончил обучение и не стал психопатом. Моя совесть вернулась, и для меня это стало самой большой трудностью, потому что у меня был такой большой статус, я был успешным, мне доверяли люди, играющие на этом уровне. Короче, большинство из этих людей не придерживалось господствующей религии, христианства. Итак, у вас есть католики, протестанты, всевозможные религии. Эти люди, большинство из них, были люциферианцами. И вы можете сказать, религия – это сказка, Бога не существует, ничто из этого нереально. Что ж, для этих людей это правда и реальность. И они служили чему-то нематериальному, что они называли Люцифером. Я также был в контакте с этими кругами. Только я смеялся над этим, потому что для меня они были просто клиентами. Поэтому я пошел в места, называемые церквями сатаны. Итак, теперь мы говорим о сатанизме? Да, поэтому я посетил эти церкви. Так же, как посетитель зашел, и они делают там свою мессу с голыми женщинами, напитками и прочими. И меня это просто забавляло. Я не верил ни в одну из этих вещей. И мне очень забавляло видеть этих голых женщин и многое другое. Это была хорошая жизнь. То потом, в какой-то момент, и именно поэтому я рассказываю вам это сейчас, меня пригласили участвовать в жертвоприношениях за границей.
Dat was het breekpunt.
Это был переломный момент.
Kinderen.
Дети. Вас попросили сделать это?
Ja, ik kon het niet.
Да. И я не мог этого сделать. Вы бы хотели сейчас сделать паузу?
Nee.
Нет.
En toen
И потом я
begon
начал
ik
медленно
langzaam
ломаться.
Eigenlijk in te storten.
Я много пережил, когда был ребенком, и это действительно тронуло меня. Все изменилось. Но это тот мир, в котором я оказался. И тогда я начал отказываться от заданий в своей работе. Я больше не мог этого делать. И я стал представлять для них угрозу.
They need terrorization of their victims before they are killed for their blood. And they have to terrorize them to get this to come out in the blood and be secreted in the blood. They are killed at that moment as they are staring into their eyes, and they will drink, and they drink the blood, and the blood is highly sought after. And then they have these children that they're kidnapping and bringing in from other countries, and no one misses them because these are third world countries.
Even worse than before, because they are using all these kids arriving with the refugees. They are taking them from the boats directly and bringing them in their pedophile networks, taking their organs. They found hundreds of emptied bodies put back together in Egypt and in other places before. This is scandalous. I think this is really becoming revolting.
And children they have the most energy, the purest energy, they're the highest form of sacrifice. They are used as actual blood sacrifices during these rituals.
В 80-е годы бывший директор ФБР в Лос-Анджелесе, известный агент Тед Гандерсон, начал расследовать дела о сатанизме и производстве адренохрома. То, что он в итоге узнал, было просто шокирующей информацией, которую, к сожалению, многие до сих пор не готовы принять.
Until about 2 years ago, up until about 2 years ago, I kept saying there's a loose-knit network operating in this country involving drugs, pedophilia, pornography, prostitution, corruption, etc., etc. 2 years ago, from my research, I'm convinced it's much more serious than that. It's more than a loose-knit network. It is a conspiracy. And you know how the news media comes after us when we use the word C, conspiracy, that C word. Well, they can come after me all they like, because I guarantee you right here and now, we do have a conspiracy, and I'm going to prove it to you here today. This conspiracy involves pornography, drugs, corruption, involves pedophilia, involves organized child kidnapping rings, the finders out of Washington, D.C., CIA cover, covert operation involved in the international trafficking of children, terrorism, bank accounts, and the word...
Yes, I have seen at rituals, I have seen George Bush, I have seen Madeleine Albright, I have seen Henry Kissinger, I have seen Ronald Reagan, and I have also, by the way, seen his wife, Nancy Reagan. I have seen Hillary Clinton before I knew she was Hillary Clinton at the time. At these rituals, she is involved. Jay Rockefeller, Gerald Ford, these people seem to all be connected. I've seen all of them drink human blood and consume human flesh, and they have their own goblets in which they have blood, and these goblets are encrusted with jewels.
Тот переломный момент, о котором вы меня спрашивали, я очень тяжело его пережил. Я тогда получил официальное приглашение. Вы думаете, они мне прямо сказали: «Привет, Рональд, пойдем с нами на вечеринку, мы будем резать на куски маленьких детей»? Нет, конечно. Это все было по-другому сказано. А как по-другому? Все было очень продумано ими. Двое из моих коллег, которые пригласили меня тоже войти в эти высшие круги, потому что, как они мне объяснили, я бы приобрел больше власти, влияния. Они достаточно долго выстраивали со мной эти доверительные отношения. И они думали, что к этому моменту я уже был готов это сделать. Откуда они могли знать, что это послужит для меня спусковым механизмом? Это же не входило в их намерения. Поэтому я тогда и вообразить себе не мог, что такой обычный выходной субботний вечер, когда люди часто куда-то ходят, чтобы развлечься, отдохнуть, закончится резнёй детей. Я не знаю, как эти люди могли спокойно в этом участвовать, но для меня этот вечер, на который меня пригласили, закончился шоком, с которым я не мог совладать. Мы сейчас говорим конкретно об этом высшем внутреннем круге людей, которые исповедуют больную религию. И мы все этим просто шокированы. Могу привести другой пример. Тоже в связи с детьми. Потому что мы не можем просто отбросить эти мысли, как тяжелые, так как эти люди продолжают оставаться в неведении по поводу происходящего. В этом как раз и есть вся проблема. Я говорю сейчас о хороших людях, не о плохих. Их ведь плохих не так и много. Плохие люди продолжают все это делать. Но хорошие люди по всему миру не делают ничего, чтобы это изменить и остановить. Они даже не хотят об этом знать и слышать. Надо ведь жить только положительными эмоциями, как они говорят. А все это меня не касается. Поэтому я и не хочу об этом знать. А ведь это происходит уже достаточно долго. Поэтому я все-таки не могу не испытывать гнев в отношении таких «хороших» в кавычках людях. Да, это верно. Когда-то в годы моей юности, мне было лет 16-20, я слышал, как в моей семье, это не от кого-то, а из первых уст, рассказывали истории о сестрах милосердия, которые ездили с гуманитарной миссией в Индию. Эти люди, я пытаюсь себя контролировать, эти сестры милосердия были просто уничтожены морально и психически в течение 4-5 лет после их возвращения в Нидерланды. Никто не должен был об этом узнать. С чем же это было связано? С детьми. Опять с детьми. Каждый раз это происходит именно с детьми. Торговля детскими органами. Мы все думаем, что это все норма нашей жизни, что детей надо спасать. Но откуда же берутся эти органы для пересадки? А эти дети, в тот момент, когда у них вырезают органы, они же еще живы. Эти сестры милосердия больше не смогли этого вынести там, в Индии. У меня нет абсолютной твердой уверенности в том, что это не продолжает происходить и сейчас. Мир, просыпайся. Иди, выясни все это. Торговля органами, детскими. Никто об этом не говорит. И никто ничего не предпринимает по этому поводу. А эти проклятые сатанисты делают свое дело. Это же только маленькая группа больных садистов, а торговля органами процветает по всему миру, идет поклонение Богу Мамоне. Это просто настоящее жертвоприношение. Теперь много пишут в разных статьях о судебных исках в Англии по поводу массовых изнасилований молодых девушек. И насильников оправдывают. Мы не можем защитить наших собственных детей. Что это за мир такой больной? И это наше будущее. И я могу подтвердить следующее. Если вы начинаете делать детям зло с их самого раннего возраста, то ваш мир станет еще более больным.
На этом видео вы видите, как культ, в который входят очень влиятельные люди, приносит в жертву человека во время ритуала, известного как кремация заботы. Это происходит ежегодно в июле в Богемской роще в Калифорнии. Эти кадры сумел заснять на видео Алекс Джонс 15 июля 2000 года. Жертвоприношение приносится огромной статуей совы, которая является репрезентацией Молоха, упоминаемого в древних текстах божества, которому приносили в жертву детей.
Once again, midsummer sets us free.
They materialize from out of another dimension and are present at rituals, and they are so powerful, and their presence is there's such an evilness about them, and they want out of this other dimension. Old ones are called out and they are what Christianity would have called the demons.
And they control them through this fountain of youth. Now, the fountain of youth is your pineal gland. And in combination with your pineal gland are your adrenals. And your adrenals, when they are really set to, when they are really, really, really challenged, your adrenals can produce these incredible substances. It's more than just adrenaline.
So when you're in a state of fear or terror.
When you're in a state of terror, when you're in a state of the next second you could die. So we're talking about, folks, this is torture beyond what you can imagine.
And the TV show Monsters, Inc. shows you in a child's version of what this is all about.
Just evil beyond description. If you're up for it, you're going to rewatch Monsters, Inc. and you'll probably throw up partway through the movie when you see how it ties in and what they're talking that they do to the children. So it's the pineal gland, which is, coming back home, is the honey of the milk and the honey, this very, very powerful substance that is life. And it is a euphoric life. It gives you a natural high, a very, very natural high. But it's through these adrenals, it's the adrenal glands. It's more than just the adrenaline. There's other sacred secretions that come out when we human beings are close to death. And so that these are the most powerful substances that are miraculous maker of viruses and maker of secretions, which is Santa Claus, which is Al the alchemist in the cloistered closet of the brain,
and
the claustrum.
A heightened sense of awareness.
It gives you super
terror,
intelligence.
you need to run.
Yeah, it's like you're wearing the helmet of knowledge. It's like you know all things in the moment. So you just need to understand this substance through the pineal gland and then the sacred secretions through the adrenals are not just making you feel high. They're so powerful that they are producing massive amounts of collagen in short amount of time, so that all of your wrinkles are filling in, and that your skin looks like it's brand new, and that your eyes become bright and fully open, and that your head begins to suddenly work, and you suddenly are connected to all of this higher truth and this higher knowledge and this higher thoughts and whatnot. So this is literally these people coming to sort of superdom. And there are movies that have been made about, that one with Robert De Niro and Bradley Cooper. I forget what the title of the movie was, Mark, but there was an experimental substance,
a pill or something.
Yeah, and he had to take this substance, but it made him superhuman, super intelligent, they're just playing with you. They're just talking about the adrenochrome. And so adreno for adrenal and chrome for chromium, and chromium the tie to the higher spiritual mind, the mind of God.
I said to you a while back, Charlie, I wonder if Google are mocking with us and playing with our minds by calling their famous browser Google Chrome after adrenochrome. Being a company like Google, being such a key player, and being a satanic organization, you have to wonder.
Yeah, well,
and the other unit that they have inside that's called adrenal.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the processor, the microprocessor that came out a year later, was the adreno. Yeah.
So you've got the
and then the platform Chrome. So what came out initially was this new platform Chrome, and then within a year later came out their new microprocessor for the computer.
Adrenal.
The sort of the brain, the thinking part of the computer brain, what they call the adrenal. So there's your adrenochrome.
It's like one part mockery, one part placing the truth in plain sight. Their favorite trick.
What do they do? A big clue to this was in the images that were released through the Podestas and the Clinton emails and all of these different images. And some of the art came from one of this artists, and one of the images that this artist drew was a painting done from a real life image that was taken of Gloria Vanderbilt's home. On the inside of her home, she had an indoor pool, a very large pool. And very odd in this picture that John Podesta featured in his living room was that there were ropes hanging over the edges all around the pool, hanging over the edges into the pool, and these ropes were connected to nooses. And here is the horror of these stories. At these ritualistic parties, to be able to extract these sacred substances, to make the adrenochrome, what they do is they hang these children over the edge of the pool with water. They're not touching the water at this particular point, but they're hanging. So they're in distress. These are kids. They're in distress because they're being hung. And during this process, they have special people. Some of the actors, like Tom Hanks, like to get in on it themselves. Others simply rely to specialists who come in and they know what to do. And essentially, folks, what they're doing is a very ancient art of torture. And this torture is to evoke as much pain as possible. That's the whole idea, is to create enormous strain and stress within the body and the mind of the individual.
And they use children because they're the most pure. They have the most pure body and the most pure secretions come out, and so that's why they're using children, and they're easy to frighten.
It's about the wickedest thing a human being can do. You know, evil doesn't stoop any lower than that. It really is the worst possible thing imaginable that you could ever do, harming children.
Right, Mark? I mean, that's how you own these people. That's how you know Hillary Clinton will never talk, will never say anything. Because this is what these people are being held to, are these actions. And you're right, it's the worst thing that anyone can do. And it's beyond our comprehension. It doesn't. So they torture them. And then, let's just move along, because this is really affecting me again. So,
we don't need to get too graphic.
Long story short, well, I have to say this part. What they do, the child is still alive, and what they do is they have to skin them from the neck up. I'm so sorry to tell you this, folks, and it affects me a great deal. So while these beautiful kids are still alive, hanging on the edge inside of a pool, they're tortured, and then they're skinned from the neck up. And you see Lady Gaga come to a party, a Hollywood party or an award show, I believe it was, and she's dressed. People didn't understand the costume, but that's what a child looks like when their skin has been peeled back on their head. And she went to a party dressed as that. So if somebody doesn't cut her head off, I'll gladly do it. These people aren't getting prison sentences, folks. No, they're going to Guantanamo Bay, and they're not coming back. So they skin these children alive. And then when they skin them, because they have to have access to the glands, then they're taking out carefully the pineal gland. They're taking out the adrenals, probably the pituitary gland as well, and anything else they think is of value. And then what they do is they cut the cords on these nooses for the children. The children then fall down into the pool. And guess what? Pool is electrified. And these children are then fried. They're fried fish. So then when you get Madonna, who's in her home going apeshit crazy because her batch of adrenochrome from Wuhan, China was tampered with and she can't use it, and where is she going to get her adrenochrome from? How is she going to get it when she's under house arrest in her home? Then she gets the camera going and she starts singing, "I want some fried fish. I want some fried fish." My dear friends, that's what she was singing about. How is this possible? How is a human being? How is it possible that another human being can think this way, let alone partake in these things?
It really does beg a belief that one human is even capable of doing that to another. And you've had celebrities during this whole lockdown period sending coded messages and warning each other cryptically, right? Such as Ellen DeGeneres sending messages to Tom Hanks and all this.
All of them. It seems that Hanks, it seems that he and Rita Wilson were like a center point, rack and pinion for this movement in Hollywood. And by the way, if you saw that, they're all sending messages to Rita Wilson saying that if he talks, you're dead. Your kids are dead. And that's why, and look, Ben Stiller had
I'm
a
not
chainsaw.
so sure they care about their kids, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how they could. Ben Stiller had a chainsaw and said, I know how to use this. And then what was the other one?
Spade.
David Spade has a shotgun, and they all had these weapons, and they're gonna, if you rat us, and they were all saying the same thing. If you go under, we all go under. We're all in this together.
Took on the form of dinner party entertainment for her donors and friends. The link to cannibalism is obvious.
After thinking for a while on how to best disseminate the information I've received, I've settled on dropping this particular discovery in its own shorter video.
The problem now is that people now know that I am interested in lost glove photos.
And the rest of the leads and new testimonies will be in part 3.
And then they made each little boy in turn come up and stab him.
I'm doing this because I consider this finding a bit more time sensitive, and I've already received veiled threats and attempts to hack my social media. I knew I might receive some trolls when giving out an email and asking for information, which on one hand has proven remarkably useful. But I wasn't prepared for how sophisticated some of these phishing attempts would be. While some are, of course, benign spam attempts that we all get, others seem designed solely to intimidate, like trying to reset my Twitter password, or calling my phone but not saying anything. Among the threats I've received was this one. Quote, "You have no idea what you are getting into here, or what kind of danger you are in. Think enemy of the state meets arrival. Stay far away from," and then it shows my location. Let's assume for a second that this person's not a troll, and they really do know something I don't. Well then, what is it exactly that I'm getting into here? What is it that I'm in danger of?
On looking into it, it appeared that this girl was one of many.
A former Scotland Yard detective, John Wedger, was part of a small team investigating sex abuse allegations in London.
We had dozens of young kids aging from 9 to 14 years old.
But when Officer Wedger, quote, dug too deep, he was given a similar warning.
I was brought before someone who is now a very, very high-ranked officer in the UK indeed. And he said, "You will be thrown to the wolves. You have no idea who and what you are dealing with." He said, "I'm warning you now, you must back away."
Although it can be disconcerting, and at times I do wonder if what I'm doing here is even worth it. As of now, I have no intention of stopping. Now, the new information you're about to see ostensibly involves Tom Hanks.
First of all, it looks like an ad for Chevy.
Whether or not Hanks is aware of any of this remains to be seen. Nonetheless, some of the images he's posted to his social media are not only relevant to the findings, it's how they were discovered. The person who provided this tip wishes to remain anonymous, under the alias Veritas Fatior. But why Tom Hanks? An actor I've loved since I was a kid. A man whose films are consistently inspirational, influential, and iconic. This is true. But it's also true that recently, a new range of theories have begun to emerge, showing a different side to the Hollywood actor. Many of the claims are unfounded and nonsensical. I'm not saying they're all bullshit, but as I did with part 1, no theories will be given, just information and context. So one reason some have recently changed their perspective of Hanks surrounds the testimony of a former Hollywood actor, Isaac Cappy.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about Tom Hanks either, who is also a pedophile. Tom Hanks, folks, is a pedophile. I'm sorry if this is the kind of bursting your bubble, all this information is new.
Isaac claimed that within Hollywood, a high society is involved in child trafficking.
Yeah, Tom Hanks. Tom fucking Hanks, guys. Pedophile. Called out, no response.
Information he claimed was privy to because of his time spent among Hollywood's gentility.
I'm in their source code. These people are being taken up north to San Francisco, some sort of R&D project for a new Terminator.
And this, make no mistake, this is a cult. There is a widespread cult that is worldwide. And by the way, the proof is in the fucking pudding. If I'm lying, sue me. Sue me. Great. Let's go to court. Let's have discovery.
As Cappy's following grew, he took measures to ensure his safety, one of which he alleged included a, quote, dead man's switch.
What does that do? It means they can't kill me, which is good because I like to stay alive. A dead man's switch is basically it's like if you die, then like stuff happens, okay? Like information goes out. They can try to kill me. You know, good luck with that.
Many expected Cappy to continue expanding upon his testimony. Instead, he uploaded one of his final videos.
My anger at these people, my anger consumed me. Did I lie about Seth Green? No, Seth Green's a pedophile. Am I afraid of something? Well, I should be, because bad things are coming my way.
3 days later, Cappy was found dead in what local authorities assert was a suicide. It's worth noting that Cappy was asked here if he currently felt suicidal.
I'm not suicidal.
Purportedly, Cappy jumped from that bridge and was hit by a truck. Soon after, a controversial video began making its rounds on the internet.
You promised you wouldn't hurt my mom and dad if I came back, right?
Right. I won't hurt you either.
A woman named Sarah Ruth Ashcraft accused Tom Hanks of purchasing her from her father for sex. She claims to have been abused most of her childhood.
I depersonalize a lot of this because it's really ugly, tough stuff. I'm glad something's being done about it now. Because nobody should have to look back on their childhood memories and realize that the things that they thought were just meaningless and innocent were anything but that. Nobody should have to discover these things about their own life.
I noticed you have this obsession on Instagram
with lost gloves.
Well, it's lost objects, but it started with lost gloves. And first of all, there's a story behind them all. What happened? What happened to its mate? How did this glove get lost? Is someone going to keep the other glove at home on the off chance, or they're going to pair it up? It's a little bit of, Romeo and Juliet kind of quality to it.
You're saying there's a little bit of a hint of sadness to these. It's like it's telling you a tale, but you don't know what the tale is.
They're all bittersweet city adventures.
Let's take a look at some of these. I want to put this up. This is one you took, and
Now
tell me what's going on here. What is this so evocative to you?
Well, first of all, I don't touch them. I just see them and I photograph them. So I have never.
You don't want your DNA on those.
Well, it could be a crime scene. And let's not give the cops a break.
Notice that in this image, we see another glove. But this time, we also see letters. Look closely and spell them out for yourself. What does the top row spell? S-R-C. What does the bottom row spell? U-S-A. Here's what happens when you run a search for SRC USA on DuckDuckGo. It shows nothing out of the ordinary. The same goes for the Images tab. And the same also goes for Google. In the trailer update video I uploaded prior, I provided tips for independent researchers to use. Among those was to utilize multiple search engines, including the Russian search engine Yandex. It's important to understand that just like Google or Bing, Yandex does not show child pornography and is not to be confused with a dark web search engine, many of which lead to an array of CP, no matter what you type in. In Part 3, we'll attempt to expose an apparent distributor who operates within these networks. Back to Yandex. To further emphasize how similar Yandex is to Google, here are some control searches. When typing kids, the images are as they should be. The same goes for any other mixture of SRC. So if we search RCS, RCS USA, and some others, all of them are fine. But what happens if we type in SRC USA? In Part 1, I showed how the term BH Kids was almost certainly a pedophile code, as it revealed indecent images of children on Google, some of which cryptically, but there are some who claimed I was making a mistake, pointing to the German use of BH, which means bra. This definitely helps to explain why, quote, bra was found next to many of the images. But it does not explain the BH Kids logo on the Vietnamese YouTube channel, where I found the term in the first place. Furthermore, one of the most suggested images BH Kids pulled up was of this young girl, who I've chosen to pixelate, given that the image has already been printed onto a foreign newspaper. Now, if Google's suggestion of this image only had to do with the German word for bra typed next to kids, and not potentially indicative of a larger operation, then how do you explain this?
All day yesterday doing a shoot with the Pizza Slime blog. Is that fun for you?
The term SRC, which is typically short for source or search, appears to act, in this case, as a kind of algorithmic glue for online predators on Yandex. These images are then collected and shared on Yandex profiles. Disturbing amounts of illegal child exploitation imagery are currently being cataloged and shared by predators on Russia's Yandex search engine. Terms like SRC USA, SRC Kids, SRC Boys all surfaced images of children in varying degrees of dress, many with sexually explicit tags and comments. The Yandex child pornography problem exemplifies the failure of big tech to effectively resolve an issue which could easily be fixed by blocking or cleaning up those queries. It's entirely possible that Tom Hanks has no connection to the term, but it would have been misleading, even dishonest, if I didn't include that this image was how the apparent code was discovered. Additionally, because it included Tom Hanks, leaving out the testimonies of Isaac and Sarah would have also left out information we felt was pertinent. And it's up to you to decide the authenticity of their claims. But what I find most bizarre is that apparently, in general, Yandex knows this is a problem. Whether or not they're aware of the specifics in this documentary remains to be seen. But it does appear they're knowledgeable of their engine's failure to eliminate images showing child sexual abuse. Which begs the question, why aren't they fixing it?
Fake アーティスト血で塗られてハリウッド、ロサンゼルス天使がいなくなった街悪魔がはびこるそこら中誰が助ける誰が叫ぶ真実誰が止めるこの負の連鎖繋がってんだ全部ネットワークは巨大さディープステイト悪魔の足跡歴史は書き換えられた嘘の教科書洗脳してゆく子供たちを誰も知らないその医者が出した薬がポイズンその握りしめてる金も誰が吸ってるかフェイクマネーただの紙切れ BIS この国70年前から植民地誰かが叫ばなければ何も変わらない Change the world Tupac Michael Jackson Bob Marley R.I.P. まっすぐ遠く見つめてたなんでこんなにも愚かな世の中嘘と金と快楽その3つがこの星回す昔も今もアトランティスの悲劇が今再びこのままじゃソドムとゴモラ焼け野原何度失敗したらわかるんだ俺たち今ここはデッドライン 終わりの一歩手前、大転換の一歩先へ導く光であれ。なあ聞いてるかこの音、俺の声。聞いてる人たちよ、正義貫けよ。両目かっぴらけ、真実を見ろ、嘘をつくな。ピエロやってんなよ、Wake up